So DJI has just launched its first 360 camera, and the competition, it's finally getting hot. But can this camera actually live up to the hype, and will you actually be able to get it in the US, or will you have to get the new competitor? So this is DJI's first foray into a dedicated 360-degree camera that is now available for pre-order. And there are two versions to consider: the standard combo at $549 and the adventure combo at $699. And the $699 adventure combo comes with the invisible selfie stick and the multi-function battery case. So let's talk about what actually sets the Osmo 360 apart. So for example, it has two HDR square sensors. Now, I've got two videos on the channel where we talked quite a bit about the sensors. My first video, I got the numbers wrong with some wrong information. In the second video, I tried to kind of set the record straight. It is very interesting that this camera comes with square sensors. What is less interesting is the fact that they are marketing it as a full 1-inch square sensor. It is not. And I'm not saying that it's not close, but it's not. And a 1-inch 360 area is not the same thing. And I think we need to come up with some standards around these sensor sizes to make it clearer on the marketing side for folks who are spending quite a bit of money on these products. But this is a first. This is one of the largest sensors that we've seen in the 360 market, and especially coming from a square sensor that gets the entire image circle coming from these lenses. It delivers a native 8K video at 30 frames per second, and because of the fact that it's using a quad Bayer sensor, the still photo capability is 120 megapixels. Now that's a stitched 360 image, and they're claiming 100 minutes of record time in 8K mode on a single charge. And using the battery extension rod, you can actually add that up to 180 minutes. But obviously they've packed it full of all of the DJI standard features like their RockSteady and HorizonSteady stabilization features, gesture and voice controls, and intelligent tracking. The invisible selfie stick that you can get in the adventure combo is designed to vanish, and in single lens mode, you can use the camera like a conventional 5K 60 frame per second action camera. And if you need slow motion, you can actually get 4K at 100 frames per second, and that is slightly faster or slower than what you can get out of the competition in the X5. And it's relatively lightweight at 183 grams. It also comes with 105 gigabytes of internal storage and can operate as low as -20 degrees centigrade. With fast charging, you can get up to 50% battery in just 12 minutes, and it has native support for the DJI mic system, no receiver required, and of course the DJI Mimo app as well as the DJI Studio and Premiere plugins are supported. So it seems to be a tool that's going to be adaptable for a lot of different scenarios, and I'm very curious to see how creators adapt these features into their workflow. But next, and here's where things get a little tricky, if you're hoping to snag the Osmo 360 in the US, you might face some hurdles. According to Drone DJ, pre-orders are open, but the initial stock is going to be limited, and not every major retailer is expecting inventory right away. And according to The Verge, while DJI itself doesn't plan to sell the Osmo 360 directly in the US, you may be able to get it through third-party retailers like Amazon, B&H, and Adorama. I will put links down below so that you can choose the retailer of your choice if you want to try to pick this camera up. But the bottom line is this: if you're serious about being kind of first to grab DJI's new camera, you want to get your pre-order in at one of these retailers sooner rather than later, let me know, planning to buy right away. Now those links are affiliate links. They do go to help the channel so that I can make content for you. But this video does have a sponsor, and that sponsor is me. And unless I say otherwise, every video on my channel is backed by my photography business. YouTube ad revenue is nice, but it doesn't keep the lights on. I am a working professional photographer and videographer, and this is how I make a living. I specialize in portraits, events, weddings, and photo and video work for small businesses. So if you're in Las Vegas or Southern California and you need a professional to make you, your family, or your business look great, I'm available, and the links are down below. Those links also include my free mini sessions that I'm offering during the fall, and those are going to fill up really quick. I also have package and daily rates available. The busy season is about to hit, so grab your spot before I am fully booked. Now next, let's talk about the brewing rivalry between DJI and Insta360. These are two pretty big companies in their respective spaces, and now they're really getting into each other's turf. I don't think it is a surprise that the anti-gravity project was unveiled a week before the Osmo 360 was launched. And according to Petapixel, Insta360 has long been a dominant player in the 360 camera market, while DJI has held a similar role in the drone market. And so with DJI's first 360 camera going head-to-head with Insta's offerings, you can kind of see the differences. Right? The Osmo 360 is offering 8K video up to 50 frames per second, thanks to its larger sensor, while Insta's X5 is delivering 8K at 30 frames per second with a slightly smaller sensor. Now, DJI claims 100 minutes of continuous 8K, which puts you a little further ahead for longer shooting. But Insta360, on the other hand, is known for having robust software and really kind of an established editing ecosystem. DJI is aiming its market at developing, right into photographers and videographers with higher frame rates, better low light, and longer runtimes. But Insta360 brand loyalty and editing tools are not to be underestimated, right? They're established. We're seeing two companies with little competition in their primary fields now actively competing across these categories. And for buyers, this is likely to mean better products, more tech advances, and even better pricing. Now, is there a winner? Not yet, but it's going to be fascinating to watch, especially as we see other players get into these markets. Right? There's a lot to like from each of these companies, especially when we talk about their 360 products. And personally, when I look at these specs and these numbers, I don't see a clear winner necessarily. Some might say that the Osmo 360 is a clear winner because it's cheaper or because it has the larger sensors. And yes, the X5 does have the smaller sensor and it is a rectangular sensor, so you get less access to the sensor and the battery life is a little bit less. But it has replaceable lenses and a larger LCD. It's also waterproof up to 15 meters, whereas the 360 is only waterproof up to 10. And while both cameras have 1/4 inch and magnetic mount options, both offer flat profiles for post-processing. Only the 360, the DJI Osmo, has a 10-bit log profile, whereas the X5 is using 8-bit. So again, there are pros and cons here, and we're in the middle of the X5 release cycle. So an X6 would conceivably be able to leapfrog the Osmo 360. And that's just good news for everybody. So I'm very excited to see what these two companies do, especially as they go head-to-head in the 360 space, and as we move into things like smaller cameras, like the Go Ultra that we're expecting to see from Insta360, and the anti-gravity drone project. But that tells us that, somebody knows something about this market. And another company that is now jumping back into it is GoPro. They're not sitting this one out. And according to Drone DJ, the GoPro Max 2 prototype has just shown up on the Chinese marketplace, hinting at renewed competition in the 360-degree action camera category from GoPro. The images confirm a familiar GoPro mounting system, 1/4 inch thread, and a battery door housing that appears to be the white-backed Enduro battery, typical of the GoPro Hero series. Now, this prototype doesn't include a display, but it's described as working, with testers reportedly searching for a compatible screen. Now, a formal GoPro Max 2 announcement is expected in September, and according to reports, a strategic move to capture attention ahead of the holiday rush is what GoPro's going for. It's notable that GoPro hasn't released a new 360 camera since 2019, unless you count whatever the heck that was that they were released at the beginning of this year. So all eyes will be on how their next model kind of measures up, particularly now that DJI and Insta360 are pushing the performance space when it comes to innovation. So for GoPro fans, the potential re-entry of the Max could offer a real alternative and shake up the current two-brand rivalry. So here's what I need to know down in the comments. Are you holding out for GoPro's offering? Are you jumping all the way to DJI, especially if you're already invested in their ecosystem with the mics? Or are you staying on the Insta360 bandwagon with the replaceable lenses? The fact that they just released ND filters and firmware updates that continue to advance their products. These companies aren't dumb. They know what they're doing. And the curious question is, who are you going with? But to wrap up, the 360-degree camera market is anything but settled. The Osmo 360 is going to make a strong case for hardware innovation. The Insta360 continues to appeal to folks who need a proven editing ecosystem and some of those technical specs that I mentioned. And GoPro is teasing a long-awaited return. So if you're an early adopter, you may go the way of Osmo 360. If you're looking for reliability and kind of what you've always expected, Insta360. And if you're honestly just a big GoPro fan, maybe you wait for the Max 2. So whether you're a critic, a fan, or a working creator, here's what this means. We all get to benefit because these companies are competing. More competition in the market benefits the user. But as always, if you want to support what I'm doing here, consider becoming a channel member For $1, I've got lots of competition here on YouTube. And if you're looking to book a photo or video session, all the details are down below, including my free mini sessions for the fall, which are going to disappear fast, so grab those. Along with gear deals, including everything that I use to make my videos and when I go out as a photographer, as well as anything that we've talked about here. But as always, the easiest way you can support the channel is just to hit that like and subscribe button. Those are free, and they go a long way to help me here on YouTube. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.